What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the Raise Hail Praise Dale podcast. I am Voodoo,
I'm JT Dallas.
and let us know how today's episode works out for you, because I got a new computer set up, and hopefully everything looks better for you guys. Chelsea, get
Hopefully
to test
next
it
week
out
I'll
live
have.
together.
Hopefully next week I'll have another, in a way, set up. I've got an. Next week I want to try to run a dual Martin or a dual Martin. Oh my gosh, a dual monitor setup. So
He'll get the words out eventually.
maybe.
Anyways, the NASCAR season is now officially underway.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
So, with that being said, let's go ahead and hit that intro and get into talking about some Daytona and looking forward to Atlanta and everything in between.
Let's do it.
All right.
Ooh.
Don't have my notes pulled up. I'm that awesome.
Well, that's not good. Oh, here, since you're pulling those up, I'll talk. I'll start talking about it. So starting off, we're going to our post-race breakdown.
That's better than last already.
Right?
It works.
It looked pretty cool if you ask me. But we're going to talk a little bit about ARCA, and of course, where they're at is Daytona, because this week was the Speed Week. Yep, he's got the uh the lineup underneath us. But don't
race
worry,
results.
yeah, I'm sorry, guys. My brain's just like foggy right now, and I don't know why. I'm having to watch two kids, and it's not going well. Anyway, he's got the race results around our cameras, but if you're just listening, don't worry reading them out. But I want to start off with, well, I guess I can start off with William Zalek getting the Busch Pole Award. So, first time in a hot minute we've seen the Busch Pole Award. No, it's always been Busch. I'm thinking of Budweiser. Never mind.
Yeah. And we got some news about that coming up soon too. We'll talk about that shortly.
Yes, sir. But anyway, William got the pole for the ARCA race in qualifying in that number 18 car. But we did have a couple of did not qualifies. And that was the 15 and Chase Pistonalt. Pinsonalt? Okay.
Close enough.
Man. Close enough. The 36 of Ryan Huff. Bob Martin in the 52, Steve Lewis Jr. in the 62, Chuck Buchanan Jr. in the 87. Those five failed to qualify.
Yes, sir. That being said, now we get to review the actual race results. So, Mr. Butterbean, Brendan Queen, took the win. William Sawich took second, and then his number 18 machine, the number 97 of Jason Kitzmiller, took up third. And then rounding out your top five would be the number 6 of LeVar Scott and the number 82 of Elio Castroneves.
Sir, he did not have as good of race in the Cup, but I'm not going to spoil it. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. I just said he didn't have as good of run. Didn't say where he finished. But coming in sixth place, you had Cole Raz in the 76 car. AJ cool, Moyer in the 88 came in seventh. Andy, oh my gosh, you're giving me all the hard ones tonight.
Yeah, you're the one that decided to go for the DNQs first.
Andy Jankowicz, that's the way I'm going to say it. So if it's wrong, I'm sorry. He finished 8th in the 73 car. Ryan Roulette, that's probably just Roulette.
Yeah, probably so.
In the 67, finished 9th. And then your last top 10 car was the Bryce Haugberg in the 06 car.
And we got a couple of podcast favorites that we like to follow around. One we've mentioned a couple times on here before, but he's running full time this season. Be the Zero of Brayton, Pizza Man Laster. He came in 24th. Had some issues. I want to say he was almost by himself on that issue, but then you got the number 30 of Mr. Cletus McFarland, or Garrett Mitchell on paper. Came in 30th after surviving a couple of wrecks and incidents, and then finally actually getting caught up in one. But
Yeah,
he said he was flying around that track like a bald eagle. So
that, and he said that NASCAR put him on probation. So
yeah, well, that's because he broke some rules, put his own camera in the car. What did they do? Took his away and gave him one from them.
Right. But anyway, moving on to the trucks, fresh from Florida 250. The purse was $1,262,900.
I'll take it.
That's a lot of money for a purse. Also, can I just point out that they said that the purse for the Daytona weekend was the largest it's ever been?
We're not to
I don't
Daytona
remember
yet. Well,
Huh?
we're not to the Cup Series yet. That's where the big
I'm talking
money
about the whole
comes in.
weekend.
Well, yeah. Wait until you see that Cup number.
I know that. I'm just saying. Like I read where they were talking about like it was the biggest purse for the Daytona week, because it started not even on the weekend. Started Wednesday technically, if you want to count, or Thursday.
I don't think they got any purse money from winning the duels though.
You get $50,000.
I know you got points. I didn't know you got money.
Yeah, the first place gets $50,000. But they were just saying, it's the biggest purse that they've ever seen for a NASCAR event. All right, but moving on to what you guys want to hear about. The pole sitter was Ben Rhodes in the 99 truck. And of course we had some DNQs. I'll let you
Actually, I think those are just the leftover
truck. Or that was Marca.
That was the same Marca guys, yeah. There were a couple of DNQs. I think it were only like 2 or 3. I don't have them on here, so that's my bad. We'll fix that for next time. But in pre-race truck tech, 5 trucks failed twice, and they lost their pit selection as well as had their crew chief.
Their truck chief, not their crew chief.
Well, truck chief, same different. Truck chief ejected. That'd be Friesen, Wood, old Malcolm in the middle himself, Frankie Muniz, Parker Kligerman, William Saulick, and Tony Breininger.
Unfortunately, I will be right back. My children are being heathens, and I'm the only one home. I'll be right back.
Figures. So we had a couple guys that went to the rear for unapproved adjustments. That'd be the 17 of Gio Ruggiero and the number 81 of Connor Mozak. So those guys had to go to the rear. Had a bunch of guys that had to, you know what? I said there were only 5 trucks that failed, and I read off 6 names. Yeah, it is what it is. Stage 1 winner went to the 99 of Ben Rhodes, who was also a pole sitter. Stage 2 got taken by Mr. Matt Crafton in the 88. Over to race results for the trucks. Got your number 11 of Corey Heim taking the win after Parker Kligerman's truck was found to be too low and got DQ'd. So they awarded Corey Heim the win. That gave the number 17 of Giovanni Ruggiero second place. Ty Majeski in the 98 third. Grant Infinger in the 9 coming in 4th. And then Mr. Justin Haley in the number 7. Rounding out your top 5 there.
Oh man! If anybody wants
back and yawns right away. What the heck?
But if anyone wants any kids, I've got 2 that I'm probably gonna put up for sale. Legal reasons, that's a joke, in case nobody knew. But anyway, Chandler Smith in the Chandler. Oh man, you done messed me up. Chandler Smith in the 38 is in 6th. Oh my gosh, Dan Hemrick in the 19 finished 7th. In 8th, you had the 22 of Jason White. William Zalowich is 9th in that number 1 truck, and Malcolm in the Middle himself, Frankie Muniz, is 10th in that 33.
And we're gonna track podcast favorites. We do got at least one in the trucks for right now. That'd be Tony Breidinger, the number 5 truck. She came in 28th place.
I'd add Frankie Muniz in that list.
Yeah, but he was in the top 10, so we don't have to cover him again.
That's true. I'm just saying. But yeah.
And so inaugural Xfinity fastest lap. That's starting this season. This would be the first race that got awarded in. And Mr. Lane Riggs in the 34 was awarded that on lap 69. He ran a 47.212 second lap.
That's flying, bro.
Pretty fast.
Yes,
I already mentioned that post-race tech there.
Okay,
technically, Parker Kligerman won, but because his truck was too low, he was DQ'd, which gave Corey Heim that win.
Bro, you know he's insanely mad at his crew chief or his truck chief.
Probably so.
All right, so moving on to
Xfinity is not the fresh from Florida 250. I copied and pasted stuff and didn't change it, didn't the United Rentals 300.
Okay. Oh, Lord. I don't know what is wrong with me tonight. Can't. Oh. Anyway, the United Rentals 300 at Daytona's hearse was $3,762,952. A little bit higher than the trucks. Yeah. That is a regular cup race. But Justin Allgaier in that number 7 got the pole. Busch Pole Award. We did have a couple of did not qualify ins, which was the 29 of J.J. Yaley, the 74 of Carson Ware, the 92 and the 92 of C.J. McLaughlin.
Sucks for J.J. Yaley because double D&Q.
Yeah, it does suck. And his cup car was like phenomenal. I love the scheme on his cup car. But it is what it is. Yeah. The pre-race inspection, it got, oh my Lord, why can I not read tonight? The pre-race inspection for the NASCAR Xfinity Series garage is complete. Ekis Dye, James Burton, or Jeb Burton, I'm sorry. Perkins, Harrison Burton, and Matty B, they all failed tech twice, so they lost pit selection and had the crew member ejected. Sucks.
Seems like that's commonplace this weekend. A lot of people had ejections.
You ain't lying.
I had 3 trucks go to the rear for unapproved adjustments before the start of the race. It'd be the 4 of Parker Retzlaff, the 24 of Ryan Truex, and the 42 of Mr. Fast Pasta Anthony Alfredo.
Yes, sir.
Stage 1 and 2 got stolen by the same guy. That'd be the 21 of Mr. Austin Hill.
Don't sound so excited about it.
Right.
But the final and most important stage didn't get stolen by him because Jesse Love in the number 2 took the win, followed by Sam Mayer in the 41. Sheldon Creed in that 00 is in 3rd. Carson Capill, oh my God, why can I not? Waffle, whatever. Was in the number 1, finished 4th, and 5th was Taylor Gray in the 54.
I bet old Haas Factory team got that 2nd and 3rd position.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad they couldn't pull it off in the Cup Series team.
All I'm gonna say is, like, if you become like a athlete of like this level, you get what I'm saying, like on a global level, maybe you should think of changing your name to make it a little bit easier to say. Because who's gonna read that and be like, oh yeah, it's Quaffle.
Well, I only know that because of the Quaffle that used to race.
I don't know, dude.
Anywho, 6th place, familiar name there in the 25, Mr. Harrison Burton. And 7th would be the 32 of Jordan Anderson for Jordan Anderson Racing. Number 8 or 8th place would be the number 26 of Dean Thompson, and then rounding out your top 10 would be the 51 of Jeremy Comlentz and the 07 of Patrick Emmerling.
Yes, sir. The Xfinity fastest lap went to Jeremy Clements in lap 68 with a 47.187. That was just it was less than 0.1 second faster than Lane Riggs in the Truck Series.
Yeah, that's like 47.212 to 47.187. So you're like maybe a couple of hundredths second.
Yeah. It's less than 100th of a second.
All right. So
That's
the one you really
insane.
came for, where we're going now, yeah, big old Daytona 500.
Yes, sir. I will be right back. I'm sorry.
To start this off, the money. Need to get a little soundboard that says money. 30 million. That's 30,331,250. Holy smokes. That might be the combined total of, not really, but I was gonna say the combined total of the rest of them. But getting your pole for the first time ever was a Toyota in NASCAR history. Mr. Chase Briscoe snagged that first place. Your first dual race, Mr. Bubba Wallace got his win there. Not number 23 McDonald's Murder Fries car. Duel 2, Mr. Austin Cindric won, and the number 2 with some controversial stuff going on there to where they decided to throw the caution real quick. And Mr. Eric Jones should have had it. But, whatever. Had a couple of DNQs, like we mentioned earlier. Mr. JJ Yaley in that 44. That'd be his second DNQ of the weekend. Mr. Fast Pasta Anthony Alfredo in the 62. Did he, No, he just went to the ring. Okay. The 66 of Chandler Smith and the 78 of Mr. BJ McLeod. Those 4 guys wound up going home after not being able to race their way in on time or in the duels. You are muted.
No. Uh-oh. Thing froze. There we go. Both of the original crew chiefs for the number 34 and 51 cars have been ejected for balance of the weekend or improper weights.
Yeah. And then pre-race tech had 2 cars, be Ricky Stenhouse and SVG, failed twice, which means they dropped to the rear and have their crew member ejected. SVG was already on his way to the rear for backup car. He also lost his car chief, and then Stenhouse lost his engineer.
Oof.
Yeah.
Then we had a few to the rear because of, obviously Ricky Stenhouse because of multiple inspection failures. And then you had Elio Castroneves due to an engine change. And then you had a whole bunch of people the backup cars. You had Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Justin Haley, Riley Earpst, Alex Bowman, Ty Gibbs, SVG, and Daniel because they moved to a backup car. Joey Logano took stage 1, and Ryan... For real? Well, I don't know what you did with it.
So Joe Logano took stage 1. Ryan Blaney took stage 2. Parenting life.
Yes, sir.
Fun.
I'm telling you, bro. Sorry for the interruptions, guys. Apparently, our families want to be involved tonight or something. But anyway, you want to take the top 5? I'll give it to you.
I guess so. Willie B took the race win after the massive wreck on the final lap that they decided to not instantaneously throw the caution out for, which screwed
Go
Eric
figure
Jones out of his
that
dual
one.
win.
There was no way a Penske driver could have won, so why throw the caution so early?
Right.
Just
But
saying.
anywho's, next up you have a Toyota with Mr. Tyler Reddick in second, and then Jimmy Johnson in third place. Can't tell we're excited at all, are you?
Should have heard. We were. If you guys, most of you guys that are watching missed it. We did a watch party, and you should have heard it go off when Jimmy got third.
I didn't believe it when I first saw it. I had to wait a minute.
Right.
But your pole winner, Mr. Chase Briscoe, in that 19 took fourth, and then another Legacy Motor Club driver took fifth,
That's
and Mr. John Hunter
right.
Nemechek in that 42.
That is right. Then you had Alex Bowman, the showman, in sixth. Ryan Blaney in seventh. Austin Cindric in eighth. That beautiful junior motorsports car, Justin Allgaier, in ninth.
The first
And
time
then-
they put a car in a race, they get a top 10. That's insane.
Oh yeah, beautiful, and that thing looked good. It was in. And then Chris Buescher is in 10.
Your Xfinity fastest lap for that would be Mr. Michael McDowell in the 71 Gold Bowling car. Was on lap 178. He had a 45.169 lap time. That's just about 2 seconds, maybe a little more than 2 seconds faster than Xfinity was. And then you had your post-race tech. Briscoe and Cindric are going to the Research and Development Center as randoms for further inspection. And then you have Elliott, Cindric, Briscoe, and Suarez having their engines go to Engine Dyno to further test those guys out, just to see what's going on. So, with that being said, I don't have the winless streak up, but we will go ahead and
But we
hide
can
the race
add one
results.
more to a certain someone.
We'll throw that winless streak up there for you guys.
Yes, sir.
So as you can see, Willie B got moved over to 0 starts since his last win. Everybody else got bumped up one. Now, this list is only full-time charter drivers. Yep. So that's why you don't see his favorite Corey LaJoy on
of
here.
them all. Yeah.
Yeah, which Corey LaJoy is about to have another start this coming weekend. We'll talk about that shortly. It'll probably be another not a win.
One day he's going to get a win, and he's going to surprise the crap out of all of us. But I don't see it happening anytime soon, just like Denny's championship.
All right. All right, so next up would be to talk about our rookies. Rookies. You ready to talk about the rookies?
I am. Look at that beautiful mist. Oh, so unfortunately, Voodoo's rookie is currently leading in
Big
points because I think SVG got collected in a wreck earlier in the race, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, before we really jump into this, just to point out, because we didn't have a loser streak, 258. And that's cup starts only.
Yeah.
We're pushing 284, I think is where it is. And that is LaJoy starts without a win.
Yeah, it
So
was his favorite thing about podcast, and now we can't do it anymore because he's not a full-time driver.
I will bring up every opportunity I can.
Yeah, I just don't have a graphic made for it anymore.
But anyway,
my rookie, be Riley Erbst, started in 24th and actually moved forward to finish in 17th, and is now 18th in standings with a whopping 20 points.
yes, sir. My rookie, unfortunately, like I said, got collected by a wreck. Started 26th and finished 33rd, and is currently 36th in points with 11.
That's almost the bottom there, homie. Almost
Yeah,
the
but
bottom.
it's one race.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll bounce back.
We'll see. Another speedway, so not exactly SVG strong suit.
Not exactly anybody's strong suit.
But
Speedways are
Coda's
just
after that, so.
That is true.
All right.
But
Next up will be our RHPD Motorsports drivers. We get to cover again. But guess what? We got new drivers this season.
we do. So we've got some unveiling to do.
Yes, sir. Are you ready for it?
We also kind of messed with it a little bit. Go ahead. Run that beautiful intro. Not intro, you know what I mean. So the way we did this year's team, think of it as two teams mixed in one because we're going against each other.
Yeah.
I'll let you start.
All right. So, like you said, we each got two drivers. If you didn't kind of piece it together already yourself, mine is the 37 and the 73. His will be the 55 and the 56. So essentially, what we did last year is we picked four drivers and just kept them all together as one big team to see how they would stack up against all the other teams. While we kept the same rules as we did last season, we changed it up a little bit to where I have a two-car team and he has a two-car team. And then not only are we going to see where we stack up against everybody else, but we're going to see which one of us two does better at the end of the season. So, with that being said, my two, starting off in that 37 Mountain Dew machine, be Mr. Carson Hocevar. Started in 33rd, finished in 30th, so only moved a few spots up before he had some oil pressure issues. So he came out of the race. So he's sitting 32nd in points with only a measly 7. But Tyler Reddick kind of made that much better to endure through because he started 11th and got himself a second place finish. Now sits 4th place in points with 44.
Yeah. So my cars, of course, are the 55 and 56. In the 55 Bass Tracker machine, I've got Cole Custer, who started at 30th and finished up in 21st, sitting currently 27th in points with 16. And then, of course, I have Christopher Bell in the 56 NOS machine. He started 20th and looked really good until it looked really bad, which you guys
His
watch
car
the race,
looks
you
really
know.
bad.
Yeah. Well, you guys know he was battling for the lead, and then Cole Custer bumped him a little too hard and sent him in the wall, not on purpose. Like it was just a racing thing. I can't be mad at
Teammates
Cole
taking
Custer.
each other out. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And then he eventually finished all the way back in 31st because of the wreck. And he's currently sitting 28th in points. But we all know Bill. He'll work his way back up.
Maybe. That's our RHP Motorsports guys. So slightly different graphic what we had last time.
We also talked about possibly mess around with schemes this year. So maybe, who knows? You might see some scheme reveals, from us. And if you guys don't know about RHPD Motorsports from last year, maybe you're just tuning in. It's basically Voodoo and I picked 4 drivers that we want to put on our team, basically like a fantasy. So we keep track of their starts, their points, their poles, all that. And then we put ourselves up against the other teams. Last year we didn't do too bad, I think. If I remember right, we
We were pretty high out there. We also had, I think, we have one or
6
two
months.
drivers that wound up in the championship for. I don't remember.
What? This is your night cup, and it's full. There you go. Yes, it is. Go lay down. Take it in there and go lay down.
He's having fun, kiddos.
I will be back again.
Yeah. All right. So, moving forward to the next portion of the show would be our trackside trends. So let's flip over to that. Alrighty. So not too many updates this time around, but like we mentioned earlier with the Busch Light poll, well, Anheuser-Busch has renewed its deal to be the premier sponsor for the Cup Series and the Pole Award. Will also sponsor 5 pre-race performances during the season. It'll be at Texas, Michigan, the Chicago Street Race, Iowa, and Gateway. So pretty cool to see Busch sticking around after we see that Xfinity's kind of I don't know if it's a lateral move or maybe a downgrade now that they're just going to be doing the fastest lap after this season instead of sponsoring the full series.
Yeah.
But then the good news is that NASCAR has received a formal submission from a manufacturer aiming to join Chevrolet, Ford, and Toyota in the Truck Series next year. According to sources, can you guess which manufacturer it is?
I am ready for this one. Rev up your fryers, because get ready for the Dodge Ram, boy.
Yes, sir. That was reported by Catch Fence. So, and they're saying as soon as 2026, as soon as next season. See that?
Sure. That, and if that goes well, who knows? It might be at least an Xfinity. Get your Chargers.
The ways up.
I don't know. Would they? Do you think they'd have to run a Charger or a Challenger? Because I remember they didn't run the Challenger because it had too much horsepower.
Well,
now
I don't know what they'll run. Whatever they're trying to sell, I would think, because I read that NASCAR has allowed Chevrolet to keep running that Camaro for at least a few more years. So,
which is ridiculous. They should make them run something else.
dang Malibu.
That. Yeah, the Malibu something. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they should be able to run a car that they're not selling, because that's kind of the whole point of a stock car, you know. But that's neither here nor there. I was hoping Honda would join the whole manufacturer race.
There we go. I've just remembered that we needed to test the chat again since we messing around with stuff. So.
Oh, oops.
I threw a test message down there.
Yeah, it's there. I sees it.
I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger.
There we go.
I can actually read it when it comes across.
Right. But as far as like Dodge, I'm super excited. I'm ready to see those big nosed Dodges roll back into the Cup Series, hopefully eventually.
I think it'll happen if we get them in trucks and it goes well. But they're talking about like redoing the truck body for all
manufacturers.
All the manufacturers. We shall see.
Well then.
I know for Daytona they had the torque sensors, which is kind of like the first thing to be able to like truly test out and see if they can have different engines and stuff going on in them. So like the first step to bring a new OEM to Cup Series again.
Definitely be cool. But moving on to team changes, staying on the subject of trucks, but Rowdy is going to return to truck and will return for 5 races. He'll be racing with Spire, which, if you guys remember, is who bought the Rowdy truck. So, but the cool thing is he'll get to keep his number esque in Atlanta. He'll be in the number 7. He'll be in the 07 in North Wilkesboro, the 7 in Charlotte, the 07 in Nashville, and the 07 in Watkins Glen.
These are. See him in a truck starting this weekend.
Yes, sir. I hope it's another real tree truck, because that one from Texas last year still, it's like, oh,
Yeah, it was all right.
it was all right. Yeah, okay. That sucker was nice looking.
Yeah. Well, jumping to Xfinity, Mr. Eric Almirola is coming back. Gonna be running 9 races in that number 19 Young Life Toyota GR Supra, starting this weekend at Atlanta. Pretty cool.
Yeah. RCR announced that the promotion of Mike Verlander to team president, Tori Galida, Galida has been named the new vice chairman of RCR, and of course Richard Childers were named the CEO and the chairman of. So he's still gonna have his company. Austin or Ty ain't getting it yet, so
yeah. So that's overall for their organization, but now we're gonna go talk strictly Cup Series with Legacy Motor Club, who had 3 cars in the top 15. That's all I'm saying.
That's right, baby. Don't you forget it either.
I'm not going to. People listening, you got to worry about. So they signed Kaz Grala to serve as the simulator tester and reserve driver for the team. So cool to see him still have some footing. But then the next cool thing is that the IndyCar Series driver Scott Dixon was at Daytona with the club and was asked by Fox if he's got the itch to run in the Cup Series. You want to know what he said?
Absolutely.
He said, "We were just talking about that, trying to work out how I can do an entry for next year." Got Dixon in a legacy car.
Yes, sir. Sounds like Legacy might be branching out. Which, judging by this first few races, even the Clash, Legacy might have stepped up this year. They seem to be doing a little better than that, especially than last year. But
well, doesn't take much.
Fair.
But they did a lot better than last year.
Yeah, we've got 3 in the top 20, technically the top 15. We've got what was it? Jones was doing pretty good in the Clash.
Yeah.
Even in the duels, they were doing pretty good. So who knows? Legacy might have just took a step up, and I'm all for it.
I'm here for it.
Oh yeah. All right. So moving on to Trackhouse, Pit Bull will depart the ownership group effective immediately. The award-winning record holding artist announced Friday that he will no longer of Trackhouse.
Yeah, so Pitbull, bye-bye, but Trackhouse still around because they just expanded to 3 cars, so they ain't going nowhere.
Right. I wonder what would have brought that on. Maybe he just got tired of dealing with it.
I think from what I read was that they had some goals set aside for when they started off, and they both accomplished it. So Pitbull was just like, all right, did what I got to do, so you guys have fun.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Considering they've only been around, what, 2-3 years?
3 years.
Pretty quick to accomplish your goals that fast.
Yeah, because they started in 22 because that's when Chastain did the Hell Melon.
Yep. Right.
Definitely cool.
Yeah. Moving on, looking forward to the weekend coming up because guess what? We got more racing.
Yes, sir. For the next foreseeable future, we've got racing every weekend, and I'm here for it.
Yes, sir. So let's get to that race day horizon real quick.
Let's do it.
Obviously, I need to move the chat below the stingers.
All right, guys. So it's no secret. Next week we are going to Atlanta. And of course, the racing weekend starts on Friday with the truck qualifying at 3:05 p.m. on FS1 and the Xfinity qualifying at 5:05 p.m. on the CW. Your high 6 will be mostly sunny with the east. What is it?
You broke up for just a split second there.
Oh my lord. So it'll be mostly sunny with the high of 45, low of 26. Winds coming from the east at 5 miles an hour.
Yes, sir. Then on Saturday, February 22nd, starting at a bright early 11 a.m., you got your Cup qualifying, which will be broadcasted on Prime. So if you don't have Prime, you're not going to be able to watch it.
Yes, sir.
Then you got your truck race, the Freight 208. Be on FS1 at 1:30 p.m. That's stage 1 of 30 laps, stage 2 of 30 laps, and stage 3 of 75 laps for a total of 135 laps. And then you get to cool down for just a few minutes, and at 4 o'clock switch over to the CW, watch that countdown to green, and then an hour later at 5 p.m. you got your Xfinity race. Still be on the CW. That's the Bennett Transportation and Logistics 250. Stage 1 and 2 are both 45 laps apiece, and then stage 3 is 73 laps for a total of a random number of 163 laps. It'll be overcast with an isolated shower possible. Your high is 50, your low is 31, and your winds are coming out of the southeast at 5 miles an hour.
Yes, sure. Oh, man.
Don't you got a button for this next one?
I do. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Because starting on
Sunday!
Hang on, baby Jesus, this is gonna get bumpy.
on Sunday, February 23rd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NASCAR race day starts on Fox, and at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Cup race starts. The Ambetter Health 400. The first stage is 60 laps. The second stage is 100 laps, and the third stage is 100 laps. A total of 260 laps. It'll be overcast with showers because, of course, it is with NASCAR season being right around. And isolated thunderstorms. The high will be 42, the low 36, and the winds will be calm.
Yes, sir. And then your entry list for the races that we mentioned. The Freight 208 will have 33 trucks, so nobody's going home there. Got a couple of notable drivers that Michael McDowell is going to be racing again this weekend in that 07. And then, like we mentioned just a little bit ago, Mr. Rowdy, Kyle Busch, will be in the number 7.
Yes, sir. In Xfinity, you will have 38 cars, so nobody's going home again. And the only notable entry is the 19 of Eric Amarola.
Yes, sir. A couple other good drivers there, but they're full-time drivers, so we. Yeah,
I
of
was
course
just
they're going to be
talking
starting.
You know what I meant.
In your Cup race, the Ambetter Health 400, you got 39 cars, so there's still room for one more if somebody wanted to show up. But making a return this week, I don't know why I left his sponsor right there, because we're talking about sponsors here in a minute. I'm just going to go ahead and press the button on that. But Mr. Corey LaJoy will be back in that number 01. Mr. JJ Yaley's coming back, and guess what? He's not going to DNQ this race. Neither is BJ McLeod in that 78.
Yes, sir. We do have some new sponsors to talk about.
Yep.
Well, I didn't know if you had graphics or not.
Not for the sponsor. The only one I have is Ricky's down there.
Okay, that's right. You told me that. So for the 01 of Corey LaJoy, you've got Aramed Care Network. And the number 4 of Noah Gregson, you've got Title Max. Todd Gilliland has Aaron's Rent to Own. So first time we've seen Aaron's in a hot minute.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
I think the last time we seen it was Carl Edwards' car, which I have. No, I take that back. It was not Carl Edwards. It was Michael Waltrip because I have one.
I thought, or am I tripping? I thought, oh, who ran that? No, yeah, you're right, 56.
Mm-hmm. I have
I
one.
want to say I saw it on the
remember.
00 at some point, but
I don't think so.
I'd be wrong about that.
Let me look this up real quick. You can go ahead and start talking about the other ones.
All right, so moving on to the other front row guy, Mr. Zane Smith, will have a City of Refuge sponsor on his hood today, or this weekend, not today. Probably already on there though. The 41 of Cole Custer is going to have 3D systems. I wasn't 100% sure that this next one was actually new, but Tyler Reddick in the 45 will have that Xfinity Mobile. We mentioned this one. I'll go ahead and show it to you now since we're talking about it. What's going on, VIP Braden? Welcome in, sir. Long time no see in the live. Welcome back. But we do have Mr. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and his Martin's famous potato rolls. Got that yellow scheme going on with it actually got some interesting looking stuff there, but it looks like just a bag of the product on the hood. It's kind of weird.
Right. So to clarify on the errands, it did run a 00, but that was in 2008.
Okay.
It ran the 55 in 2015, and I want to say it was for McDowell. But I'm excited to see it back on the track.
Yep. Well, Aaron's dream machine.
Yes, sir.
Aaron,
That
Ricky-
was the very first 124th that I've ever gotten. Because my grandma bought a TV from Aaron's, and she said, if you really want me to buy this TV, you're going to give me that diecast that's on your counter. And they're like, all right, bet. I have two. Do you want both of them? And she's like, yeah. Which, unfortunately, I think it's put up right now.
Next up would be the 54. We get to see that Saya replacement for FedEx finally on track. And then Ryan Preece in at 60. We'll have Kroger, Javalia, and Entenmann's co-sponsorship on that car. So I wonder what that's going to look like with all them craziness going on.
There is no telling. But with that being said, we showed you our paint schemes. We talked about different sponsors. Now it's time for Slick Scheme Spotlight. Brought to you by Happy Hour Racing, a one-stop shop for all of your NASCAR and F1 needs. If you like diecast shirts, hats, keychains, about anything, they've got it there. And when you check out, use code RHPD to give us a little love with no extra cost to you. We just get a little off the top. Helps the show run a little bit more smooth.
Yeah, and it seems like it's running a little more smooth with our fancier graphics going on right now. So we appreciate those that have been supporting. Don't stop supporting because we definitely appreciate it. Every little bit helps. Okay?
That's right. He got his new PC. Next, it's my turn.
Right. And apparently, why didn't it change the? Oh no, that's right. Okay, never mind. Don't listen to me.
You're tripping, homie.
All right, so I got the paint scheme for this past weekend. Be the Daytona 500. Can you guess which scheme I picked?
A beautiful one, I'm sure.
Oh, it's beautiful. All right. It is that number 40 car.
Sorry, I was talking to my kids.
I saw your mouth moving, but I didn't hear words coming out.
Yeah, sorry. I had my mic muted so I could talk to them for a second. I love this car. Like, I'm for real going to have to get this because it was such that, and it marks such a cool step. Like, in fact, a little spoiler, I'm working on a short video for our TikTok, and it's got where seniors seen junior win for DEI and stuff. You know what I mean? So he's sitting there hugging on him and stuff, and then it like puts it side by side to Junior seeing Allgaier win for Junior Motorsports.
Well, it's not Dale Earnhardt Jr., so.
I know. But still, it
Closest
was
we're
still a
gonna
cool
get.
moment because like you could see like the similarities between Junior and Senior
Yeah.
as like car owners and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. But anyway,
Yeah, this picture doesn't do it justice because that orange around that car
really
was
good.
popping.
Oh yeah. I really do wish that Yaley would have made it in because that car was just as pretty as this one.
Yeah, it was a tough one between those. I almost pulled that JJ Yaley car, but then I was like, technically it wasn't in the Daytona 500. So.
Yeah, right.
I almost did just
thing, but that was the one that I told you I had because I wasn't sure if we were gonna do both from the 500 or an older one, and I said I had both of them ready. Mine was gonna break the rules.
Yeah, well, could have. It's our podcast. But anywho, that number 40 machine started back in 19th, which isn't bad for first-time Cup entry, and he knocked 10 places off there and finished in 9th, avoiding that last big wreck on the end of the race. Got themselves a top 10 in their first entry into the Daytona 500. And I hear there's talks about them potentially trying to run some more, so we'll see.
I'm excited. I would love to see Junior make that step where he becomes a team for a Cup, like a Cup team, an official Cup team, even if it's only one car.
I think the success he had with that Daytona 500 lit a fire under his butt to go ahead and get into it.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to see it. I'd love to see Junior Motorsports taking a championship. And I'm not even a Junior fan. I just think it'd be awesome for NASCAR.
Yep. But we now say bye-bye to that scheme.
Sir, and then we got to address a real goat in the room, you know what I'm saying. Because my scheme is the 2006 Daytona 500 winner, Jimmy Johnson. That beautiful car. He got the Lowe's. It's not his normal Lowe's scheme. It's kind of cool. He started at 9th in the race, and of course he won it. Led all of 24 laps. So, you know, I had to...
you only got to lead one.
That's right, buddy. I had to include this one solely because I was so excited that he came in 3rd for this 500, boy.
Right,
like,
he's back, baby. Run full time. Let's go. Got it.
Oh, they're laying down, yeah. They're not asleep. Ooh.
Yeah, they got a spot at Atlanta for him. He just bring that same car.
Oh, my gosh. My wife has a shopping problem, and I have a NASCAR problem. And it kind of
With our
works together.
powers combined.
Right. Because we'll find stuff like this. Hang on, she's going to show it. Hang on.
Oh, it's the Pickle Mobile.
Well, it's the Pickle Mobile's hauler.
It says chill out, eat a pickle, and it says Grillos pickle.
Yep.
Well,
She's
I think
seen
it's
that
gonna be
and
on the
had to have
34
it.
this season.
And
so.
now I'm going to have the 164th to go with it.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, back to Jimmy Johnson. You know, he's only won 2 500, is like saying like you only did a Superman marathon. Twice.
Well, I say he just goes ahead and runs the full schedule. I mean, he's what, 8th in points right now, so doing pretty good. There's already there's one more slot open at Atlanta, so.
Yeah. Huh?
So there's one more slot open at Atlanta. Just go ahead and throw that car in there again.
All right. It's right here.
Anywho's. That 2006 Daytona 500 win you mentioned.
Such a good one. I have the 06 champion champagne bottle, not the 500.
I have 6.
think mine is that scheme, but it's like for the championship, not the Daytona. I'm not pulling it out. It's close. That is on that scheme.
It doesn't have all the stuff on the back like that one does. Hitachi and Top Choice. It's only got Top Choice.
Oh,
but it's also missing the hood.
That's cool. I see now. I see what you...
Pretty close. It's probably the same season, just not that particular.
Yeah. But definitely one of my favorites.
Say bye-bye to that scheme. All right.
Well, that being said, be sure to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the podcast and you're not already. If you have already subscribed, you could do us a huge favor and spread the podcast a little bit by sharing our social media and stuff. I know we don't post a lot on Instagram and Twitter, but I do try to post mainly on TikTok. So if you guys want to go over and follow us on TikTok, that would be awesome as well.
If you follow my Twitter, I do repost a lot of the news that we're going to go over on the podcast throughout the week.
Yeah. But I mean, if you guys haven't already, go to Patreon. It is free to go to our Patreon right now. But we do have the video where we sit down with Wrap It Up Podcast, which is another NASCAR podcast. Had an hour discussion about NASCAR. It was a really good time. Aaron, Justin, they're really cool guys, and they crack us up. Hopefully in the future we'll be doing some more with them. Not saying when, not saying how, not saying if, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility this season that you may get us. You may get a video where we are together in the same place again. So.
Yeah. Maybe.
There's that. Be tuned for that.
Maybe us two and the Wrap It Up guys all together.
Definitely. Who knows? You might get videos of us screaming at people at a certain race that I'm not going to say we're going to 100% yet. But
I still haven't talked to the spousal unit about that. So.
Well, mine, we've got to just decide if we're going to try to do it or not, and then start putting back money.
Yeah, that's probably what we do too.
That means buying less NASCAR now means more NASCAR later. My ancient Chinese proverb right there.
Yeah, maybe so.
But that's it. That's all I've got. Voodoo, you got anything to add?
Get some of our merch. Because you like our merch and you want some of our merch, so you might as well buy some of our merch. Link is in the description. That also helps support the podcast.
Sir, just kind of an update. Voodoo's got basically a whole new setup minus the camera. We've got he's got a stream deck and a whole new computer. So thank you guys for helping with that. If you support it, if you have it, awesome. If you don't, hey, we understand. We just enjoy that you enjoy watching and enjoy NASCAR with us. So
unlock the door. Why is the door locked?
Family. Awesome.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to read us out this time.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you guys so much for riding shotgun with us on this episode of Race Hail Praise Dale. Remember, the checker flag might fall, but the excitement never ends. So until next time, keep the pedal to the metal and the passion for racing burning. This is JT Dallas.
I'm Voodoo.
And Race Hail Praise Dale podcast is signing off. Catch you in the next turn.